2020. Joe, roll call please.
Tatiana.
Here.
Dick.
Here.
John.
Here.
Albert. No.
Here.
Jennifer.
Here.
I'm here. And Jim. Present.
Well. Ready first?
Second.
Proof of notice.
That's listed in the agenda.
Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second by Nora. Any questions on the agenda? Jane?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0. Citizens' comments. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Motion?
So.
Motion by Jim.
Second.
Second by Joe. Everyone wants to get in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
I'm ready to time up.
Any questions on the minutes? Jim?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0. We have Resolution 1920-134. Approval of regular semi-monthly bills. Motion? So moved. Nora? Second by?
Second.
Jenny. Questions on the bills?
No one wants to approve those bills. All right, sorry.
Questions on the bill? Yeah, on the bills. Hearing none. Nora?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carried 7-0. Joe, any communications?
I have none.
Okay. We have student council report, FFA report, FFA report.
Hi, I'm Stacia Hyde, the Mayville president. On December 13th, we had our fruit sale sorting, and then we delivered all our fruit. And then on December 16th, we had our adopted family shopping trip where they went to Walmart and we purchased $500 worth of things for the family. And then this coming weekend, on Friday and Saturday, we have our halftime conference in Stevens Point where 2 officers attended. And then January 13th, next Monday, is our chapter meeting. On January 29th, we have our LD competition, which is speaking stuff like Parley Pro and discussion. And then February 3rd, we have all our applications due for officer proficiency awards and then chapter awards. And then on March 1st is our breakfast, and that's all I have.
It's so fast.
The year's going fast.
It's just so quickly all those things come up. The due dates are
Yeah,
early. It feels like.
Successful food sale this year?
for the most part. We didn't sell as much as last year, but we still brought in money.
Thank you, Stacia.
Thank you.
Any committee reports?
There's a policy committee meeting after this one's all done tonight. Yeah.
Administrative report.
The first thing I wanted to share, and then the rest of my report's going to end up building into what Sue's going to talk about and what Ryan will be speaking about, is that on December 18th, Ted Knightsky, our CISA 6 director, he coordinated a day at the Capitol for all the district administrators in CISA 6. And so we actually met in the assembly chamber, which was neat. And then from there, our legislative representatives like Mark Bourne joined us so that they could be thanked. So the reason why we do this is that they meet with us monthly once it hits the month of January through the spring. So we have a PAC meeting, which is the superintendents getting together, and then we have a legislative breakfast before that. And we're the only CISA, this consortium, that does that in the state of Wisconsin. So it turns out that having that opportunity, that is, you have a chance for some influence at a state level. So, and Ted didn't start that practice, it started with Joan Wade, but it's great to see. So they're very thankful for the opportunity to meet with us, and it's a dialogue that goes back and forth. So they educate us about what's happening at state level, what's happening in the region from their perspective as a representative, and then we have a chance to advocate for schools, obviously, what we believe is best for public schools, and it's gone from kind of just a little bit of a discussion back and forth to actually we'll give presentations about what's happening in school trends and school finance, what fund balance is about, like we are tonight, and just doing a lot to educate. So when they do hear from their local, their communities, that they have a little bit more insight about what's happening with schools. So it's great to see, and so this is just a group of us that are all in this area that Mark Warren represents. So it was pretty neat. It was neat to be actually meeting the assembly floor like that.
Does the Senate Fitzgerald attend?
No, they do not. They do not. I never see. So mostly it's the representatives that attend. I think they're invited to. So there definitely is a point of contact, but I've never, me personally, I've never seen them at one of those meetings.
I was just reading today that Fitzgerald seems to be talking about trying to put some kind of restrictions on referendums and
There's
talking
discussion
about
about
the
that
tax
again.
increases. And
Yep, that's getting a revival. It's been around for a couple of years. The other part that seems like they're going to have some big push to return are the energy efficiency exemptions being added back into school district's authority. But it's just going to have, I think, it would be tighter expectations that go along with that, because I think the intentions of it are very good. It's were the intentions being followed? Like, does A equal the outcome that you're looking for? I think was the challenge. So I think they're trying to clean that up. There's just a few things this round again that are school related, but overall it's not that much momentum. There's discussion about more incentive, change in the incentive for consolidation of schools. We'll see what kind of momentum that gets. So, yeah, but I did hear recently about that too, just looking at the referendums and just trying to limit the scope on when, how often, amounts, that kind of stuff. But it doesn't, it's just being discussed. How about that? I don't see a lot happen with it yet, but you never know when the tide turns in the world. So as far as upcoming events go, board applications are due tomorrow for or vacancies that we will have, or just the rotation that we have. So, and I would say, Janet, you're going to be here till 5.
After the usual 5, yeah.
Okay. So then our legislative breakfast that I was just referring to, the first one of the 2019-20 school year is this Friday up in Oshkosh. Then we have, in alignment to supporting our strategic plan, we have a meeting on January 14th, Ryan and Travis and I, with EMC, our commercial insurance agent, to talk about our moderate and opportunities for some claims reductions and what we can do to be strategic to address just. We have an okay mod rate. We've had some claims this year, and what can we do to make it great? And how long is it going to take in order to get it? So the regular board meeting then is January 20th, and just a reminder, the convention is January 22nd through the 24th. Friday is a half day, so if you had to pick days to come down, I would say make sure you come for the full days, Wednesday and Thursday. So we have been working with Ted Knightsky through his Rapid Improvement Center to develop for us, using the words of improvement, a continuous improvement action plan. So a copy of that I have a paper copy to share with you, and I have a little bit of a presentation that I want to give before I even turn these out. Because the key part is this is truly a draft, is what it comes down to. We still have plenty of work to do, but we've been talking about it, and I thought, hey, let's get something in your hands tonight so you can see kind of state of the state. And it flew through. There we go. So I'll speak to board here just to start, and then I'll give you guys a handout afterwards. So, one, big huge disclaimer, draft right over the cover, because the reality of it is we're pulling these resources together, and then as far as the scales and the measurements to say, hey, are we significantly exceeding expectations of you, the Board of Education, exceeding, meeting few, or failing? That's you have to look at our scales, the rubrics that we create, and say, yeah, this looks good. I think overall, we're in a good spot with the resources we provided, but in the end, it is your guiding light, like a beacon, that we need to follow in the end. So we're responsible for getting these resources to you. And then we'll have some discussion. I think you'll probably have some discussion tonight, but then more formally, we're going to start chunking this and breaking it down. At every meeting coming up here, I thought we'll kind of break it into 4, rather than doing it all tonight, because it would go on and on and on. We're gonna focus tonight on operations and the finance part. So, this first part here, it says, the mission of the school district of Mayville is to empower learners, foster innovation, and transform learning experience. The continuous improvement plan of our district identifies and monitors the 4 core areas listed below in order to guarantee the district reaches its mission and serves all stakeholders. Found under the 4 core areas are the key performance indicators and the percentage at which they are measured and contribute to the overall district rating for respective core areas. So one of the things to point out, and we have done this, was probably about 3 months ago, we shared just a little template on where we're headed. So when it says significantly exceeds and the range to fails to meet, that is in alignment with the state performance report card, but this is not the state performance report card. It is embedded into this continuous improvement action plan, and it's this very first one where it says the goal of being a force to start school district. That's really the only place it is. It's influenced, it's embedded into it, but that is literally a standalone by itself there. So there's 4 core areas, learning and academics, and under that, every one of these sheets, there's and these 4 that say learning and academics, at the top of it, it says, in the Mayville School District, we believe all students can learn at the highest level. Our culture of continuous improvement and commitment to vertical alignment drives staff to ensure the highest achievement and comprehensive education, making all students community, college, and career ready. So that's something, that vertical alignment piece, that's been part of our Mayville core. And you can see, this isn't something different. It's the same in a more articulated format, with accountability and measurement skills. That's the huge difference. We've said this is what we're about, but we haven't really said, well, how do you measure that? So now that's what we're getting to. So, operations and finance. The school district of Mayville uses financial resources in the most cost-effective manner to educate students, to maintain all district property, and mitigate financial and property loss. The nice part for this one is the document that we're going to end up rolling out is going to be using 2019-20 data. So that's why this is a big draft. We're kind of teeing ourselves up, and the data that we're using now tonight, when we're talking about the operations and finance, these things exist already, so we can actually put a scale on it. We can put a metric to it, but a lot of the stuff, we're going to have to do it later on. So like surveys, we're going to be doing those later on in the school year, so we don't have that data. But we do have most of this, which is nice that we can share. So communication and engagement. The school district of Mayville values communication with students, staff, parents, and our community. Meaningful communication and engagement practices attract and keep families and employees and help to embrace and enhance our community relations. So one of those things is like staff retention. It's a CESA 6 region piece. We don't have that data. We will have that data at the end of the year. So but this is what we say matters. And then safe and orderly environment. We believe that physically and emotionally safe learning environments are the cornerstones of highly effective school districts. Our commitment to the safety of our students, staff, and community members is founded in compassion and empathy. We view behavioral challenges in the same manner and with the same compassion and academic challenges. We regularly view and practice safety plans for physical, social, and emotional well-being. So this piece is a phenomenal fit with Mayville's core, where we said we've got 2 pieces here. What are we about? We're about culture, and we're about our academics. And when we look at this, and it's saying that the behaviors, the culture piece is just as important as the academics. So it's great to see the safe and orderly environment piece included as it's overall, it's 25% of what we say matters. So what will happen is, when it comes to these, each one of these rolls up into an overall score. So we've got 4 areas. 4-star school district comes from 50% of this, and then it rolls up to an overall score. Right now, you just see it saying significantly exceeds. Those are just holding spots. There's nothing calculated for that. So that's why I want to say that, hey, the resource I'm going to share with you is draft. And there's still typos in it, I noticed earlier. It's okay, but I wanted to give you something. When I talked to Ted about coming to work with you, he said probably in the month of March. Well, we've been talking about it long enough, and I figured, hey, we'll give you the draft, and Ted will be coming in. So tonight, then, and this is a lot of paper, I accidentally did not do back-to-back. I'm like, well, this one it is. This is yours. Here's your takeaway from tonight. Go.
I use the other side.
You can use the other side for notes. Perfect.
Nope, for at home.
Scratch paper.
With your printer from 1985.
No, that's dead. No, I still got it yet.
Needs the paper that's got the tear-offs and the.
Right, yep.
Yeah,
Dot matrix.
that's it.
So here's a good example. So if you could go to page 6 then. So what I just covered the entire front page, and this really is what when you go and you see, this would be the one page to pay the most attention to, right? Because it has everything in it. It will have an overall score, and we'll have an overall rating up at the top as well. So the very front page will have that. But every single one of these has a story that goes along with it. So tonight, we're talking about the operations and finance area, and I think we'll have Sue go first. Ryan has a whole lot of stuff. So when it comes to that, Sue's part of this, and by the way, one of the things I did not mention is that each department or building is working on a plan on a page that goes in alignment to this. So it has a cascade effect. So this is the big picture for the school district. And really, the boots on the ground are happening in the buildings where they're the most influence as far as what's happening with that. The operations and finance part, you'll see a lot of that is at a district level. So that's why we have these reports. This is what we do. So we can cover a lot of that actually tonight. So Sue's information that she'll be speaking to is on page 9. And the expectation in this is that we have a 5-year technology plan. Not only that we have a 5-year technology plan, but we're reviewing it, we're adjusting it, and we're following it. So in order to say that we're significantly exceeding expectations, because each one of these key performance indicators will have a descriptor, and here's where I can see, like, here's a typo. It's a state report card. Well, that's only for the first one. That's not accurate. But it does have a nice descriptor of it. It says this indicator focuses on how we are maintaining our technology infrastructure and all related components. Without deliberate maintenance or replacement, our technology infrastructure will not remain current or be as robust as necessary to support the function of education in a rapidly changing world. Preventative maintenance or replacement is specified in a deliberate plan with a timeline, and that covers all buildings. So why does this matter? Because we need to safeguard the technology assets of the district and follow preventative maintenance or replacement work on a set schedule in order to assure all users of the technology tools they need. So technology is a big deal, right, to schools today. So a celebration for us is the fact that we have a plan, and it does address our district infrastructure, our hardware, and our software. We are reporting out to you, especially after you look at the presentation tonight, that our current plan does require additional prioritization and funding. So if we are sticking to this 5-year plan, and I wish that this stuff lasted for 20 years. We just had a conversation recently, like, it's not designed to last that way. That's not how it works, and technology changes so rapidly. So we need funding beyond our prior district annual committed funds. If we look at where we've been doing well, but the trend is going to be we're going to need to add a little bit more to that pot in order to be able to keep it going. So budget funds will need to be increased in order to meet the future needs, meet industry standard expectations, and provide educational opportunities. So We believe right now that based upon the information that we're sharing with you tonight, that we would score us as we have a 5-year plan in place. It is reviewed and adjusted annually and is followed depending on other budget needs. So that's the challenge. So sometimes, based upon the needs of the district, we can't get that whole entire thing done. But the goal would be is to be fully funded. So in order to actually give ourselves a significantly exceeds expectations, we would have to be fully funding this. Now, here's the key part for all of this. What's really important is for you to look at all the draft stuff, and we will have to have a workshop, because do you like the way that rubric is? This is yours.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the piece that we're gonna need your feedback. This is not a rubber stamp thing. This is, we need to do the work to give it to you. These are our ideas. Here's what we think some of the best practices. But in the end, you're the ones, this is your continuous improvement action plan. So, and that's different. I don't think you've received this kind of information before. So just kind of put that mindset on when you're looking at this resource in particular, right? All right, here we go.
And also the plan that I'm presenting tonight, we're not asking you to fund it right now, this is just informational. No.
That's
That's a new one. So every time you come, it's pretty much, yeah, here's a
Can you hit
presentation.
present on that so it's full screen? So I thought to start, we would actually go through where our current technology resides right now, and what the life expectancy is on the technology. So we'll start with the first category on your sheet, which is classroom technology. Windows desktops, in the last 10 years, they've mainly been supplied by Marine Park. We've gotten donations from them. We do not budget for Windows desktops in the current budget. The lifespan of desktops are 3 to 5 years. We have 103 computers that are 7 to 8 years old. 54 computers are 5 years or less. In 2018, we purchased 2 new labs. We purchased a CAD lab, and we purchased a lab, Judy Hollipla's Lab 235, in 2000. Oh, I have a typo in there. 2018 was purchased. This year, we just got a donation from Marine Park. We'll be replacing Goldber's lab, our Adobe lab, this summer with those computers. And we got 48 computers. I need about 30 in her room, so we'll be using the other ones for teachers. So I kind of cut down a little bit of what we were looking for this year, because we did get a donation this year. But Marine Park has been less and less every year too. They have a 3-year turnover, so they turn over all the equipment for every 3 years. But they don't have as many labs in place either anymore, or teacher computers, because everyone has laptops and that. So we're not seeing as much come in from Marine Park as we have in the past. So this plan assumes that if we're not going to get a donation, that I would need to purchase this. If we get a donation, then we would take it off. So the next category is Windows laptops, 3 to 5 years. We just started this year where we're purchasing 6 new laptops a year. Special ed purchases their own laptops out of special ed money. So we don't use a lot of laptops in the district. We do use some. We have 12 laptops over 7 years old in use right now that are older than the recommended 5 years, 3 to 5 years. Some of yours are well among those that are in use. Chromebooks, our Chromebooks, you'll notice on here, anything in green means it's currently in the budget that we have now, the budget that I use every year. Chromebooks, lifespan is a maximum of 6 years. Google stops updating the Chromebook after 6 years. No more updates will work on it. So we know the lifespan is 6 years. The place where we're using them 6 years is the middle school. They get a new one in 3rd grade. We hope it lasts them all the way to 8th grade. So we're actually using them for 6 years at the middle school. The high school is a 4-year turnover. And Parkview, they keep theirs until about 5 years, and then I bring a new set in. So we have in the schedule here when the Chromebooks will be replaced. So that's already in the current budget, the Chromebooks are.
The great thing is that Chromebooks are so inexpensive now.
Correct.
Like when they first came out, could you get a Chromebook for $250 when they first came out?
They've always been around that
Yeah.
price. I don't know if they've come significantly lower
When
than
the
what they were.
economy's
Chromebooks
just
have
gone
always
up
been
now
cheap.
to $250 doesn't seem so bad anymore.
Right.
A little better quality.
Yeah.
Right, it's, iPads. So we started with iPads quite a few years ago. We actually have 72 iPads that are 7 to 8 years old. They are iPad 2nd generation. They no longer update. They still use them in the classrooms. They can use the apps that are on there. They can't get any new apps. They won't get any new iOS updates because they are just that dated. We have 60 of them that are 3 to 4 years old, and that's because we have the kindergarten uses 1-to-1 with iPads. So we are purchasing iPads for the kindergarten group. And we have 46 that were purchased at 18, 19 to kind of off, to keep those up.